Make sure the sound is working. Turn my fan down. Excellent. Okay. Switch this, and we shall begin. So today, because of the Hexfire box releasing this weekend, I thought I would paint a Grey Knight Terminator. I don't remember if there are actually Terminators in the Hexfire box, but, you know, all Grey Knights paint up the same. So, I have already done the armor colors just because of drying time. But, actually, let me grab an example real quick. Alright, so I've already done the armor, like I said, and the armor is very easy. I'm all about easy. So first, you need to go out and get your chromiest chrome silver spray paint that you can find. This is, I think, Rust-Oleum that I used. I got it at Walmart. It's like $2, but it's chrome spray paint. And then you take regular old Nuln Oil, and you just apply it to the armor. And you get this nice, still shiny, but not ridiculous chrome shiny. And comes out looking pretty much just like the armor color that you see in the art. Probably a little bit darker, but in terms of how easy it is to do, it's spot on. So, now we'll get into the actual details of this thing. And to start off, we're going to start with Retrobeater Armor. This is going to be on... I have my paintbrush. Here it is. This is going to be on all the little inscriptions and like basically writing that you see on this guy. So let's see. So like all this stuff all over the armor. We're just going to paint that in with gold. There's a little bit too much water on my brush. This gold, you really need a dry paintbrush when you apply this gold, or you'll start to lose some of the luster. So we're just going to paint all this in, and we're just going to fill it completely up. We're not going to worry about painting the individual letters or anything like that, because we will mark them out later. I approve this color. Well, I'm glad. I was getting so worried that you wouldn't. Just because we've done this armor with a chrome spray paint and then Nuln Oil, we need to be careful when we're doing this, because we don't want to get this gold on the armor, because it is a kind of a pain to touch up. We can fix it because we're going to highlight this armor, but if we can avoid it, we would like to. And the reason we're doing this gold now and not highlighting the armor immediately is because this gold needs to be nice and dry before we do the second step on it. And so we want to get that done as soon as possible so it can start drying while we're doing other things. Typically, when you're painting a miniature, at least when I'm painting a miniature, I like to start working on the armor. In this case, the Nuln Oil was the first step on the armor, and then just finish out the armor and then go to the next thing. But because we want this to start drying, I'm changing up the order for this stream. So this guy I'm not sure if technically he's supposed to be a paladin or a Terminator. The line kind of blurs. But he has got a lot of this decoration on him. Many of the Terminators won't have this much. They'll just have like some on the legs and then the shoulders maybe. You just want to make sure that you get this gold all the way worked into all the little facets of this lettering, so that our wash that we apply later can give us nice coverage. We don't want any of the silver showing through on this stuff because the wash we're going to use doesn't jive very well with silver. Okay, should be, we got this, and then we should just have the one shoulder pad left. And then, I think that's the end of the gold. And if you're looking at this guy wondering why he doesn't have an actual weapon down here, he's just holding the stick. It's because I haven't decided yet which weapon I'm going to give him. So I'm just painting him completely with a stick, and then once I decide, I'll glue that head on. Originally he came with because this is a metal model, originally he came with a halberd, but I'm not sure if I'm going to run him with a halberd yet, so that's why. So that will do it for our gold. So now we can go on to highlighting the armor. If I have that color somewhere. There it is. So we're going to use granite steel for this. I know, very appropriate. But we're just using this for our highlight, not for our overall armor color. So we're just going to get some of this on the brush and then sort of edge highlighting, but thicker than an edge highlight in a lot of places. Just going along the outside of each panel. Not being as precise as an edge highlight because this color is so similar already to the color we're using that we don't have to be as careful. And this granite steel just has a little bit of a bluish tint to it, and so it really helps sell these guys as that like just barely off blue gray steel. Just being careful not to get it on the gold. Down here on the fingers, and then I'm just going to do some like this on the chest. And then I'm just going to get these, I'm not really sure what they are, these divisions that are on the Terminators. And we'll get this. Some in there, a little bit right there and down here. All right, just clean up this little goof I just did here. Wonderful. Is that one of the new GW brushes? If so, how are they? Yes, it is. This is the medium layer one. I think they're great. I beat the crap out of my brushes more than I should, and they have held the tips as good, if not better, than other mid-range brushes that I will beat the crap out of. So, and I was very surprised and happy with the price. I was expecting as many GW products to be a little overpriced, but I think the paintbrushes are like $6, which is, at least for me, is comparable to the brushes that I will typically buy. So I was quite happy with that. Now we're going for Mephiston Red. And can I find one? Here we go. Anything that is like a book, we're just going to paint the spine of the book in with this red. Or the cover, I guess. Not the pages, basically. And then we're also going to paint purity seals in with this red. We're not going to paint this book here, because that's a special book. We'll paint that in with a different color. But all the wax here on purity seals, we are going to paint this in. Alright, and then it's just about hunting the purity seals, figuring out where they are. This guy again is a little fancier than your average Terminator. So he's got more purity seals than they typically have. Alright, I think that might be it. Oh, nope, he's got a book on his shoulder, of course. The chapter symbol of the Grey Knights is a book with a sword, so of course they would have one on their shoulder. All right. So now I'm going to get some... Where is it? Here it is. Enough purity seals to give the old Finecast chaplain a run for his money. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Finecast models, they really laid on the purity seals. It's pretty crazy. Now I'm going to go for Black Templar, and I'm just going to do the weapons with this color, as well as the box on his chest. And I'm using Black Templar instead of like an actual black, because I still want the shine of the silver to come through, but I still want them to be darker. So I want them to appear black, but I want it to be a metallic black. And so by using the slightly more translucent or even transparent contrast paint, we can make that happen quite easily. I'm going to leave the magazine silver though. There we go. And then this box on his chest. This whole thing is going to be black, aside from the eye in the middle. I think a lot of the time They do the eye in gold, but I like to leave the eye in silver, personally. All right. Now we're going to take some Mournfang Brown and do the cover of the other book, the book that we didn't paint red. Okay. That looks good. Oh, I know one thing I forgot to do with the black, which I'll do now, is the joints between their armor. So back here. Doesn't have to be completely colored, just a hint of black in there to show that it's a different material. That should be good. Alright, now we'll get into some parchment. And for that, we're going to use Retrobeater Flesh. It's my go-to for any colors like this. So it's going to be all the pages of the books here. Get these as well. And then, of course, all the parchment on the purity seals. And this book has a binding on it, so we'll do that in this color as well. This is a little tricky to get into, but as long as we get the hint of color in there, we'll be okay. Alright, and then it's just about finding all these purity seals again. He's got some more parchment on the shoulder pad here. I never knew with this stuff. Painted a lot of Grey Knights when I was younger. I never knew if this was an actual piece of parchment attached to the shoulder pad or if it was molded on. I think I probably painted about half as if it was parchment and half as if they were a molded piece of the shoulder pad. This one I'm going to do as actual parchment. Got all sorts of parchment rolled up here. The artwork goes both ways on the shoulder pad. Perfect. Even better. Get all this parchment hanging down here. Some parchment, some gold. Gotcha. Well, good. That means that I can paint it however the heck... Well, I can paint it however the heck I want regardless, but I can even be correct in the eyes of GW and paint it however I want. Alright, we got another purity seal up here. Oh, that folds, I see. And we've got book pages here. And then we're just going to paint the skulls in with a different color. And then we're going to highlight everything that isn't the silver with the same color. That will, one, be ease of painting, so we can knock out a bunch of these guys if we needed to, but also kind of brings the miniature together and ties it all in, makes it look like a coherent thing. So now we're going to use some Ushabti bone and paint the skulls. Slightly more yellow, beige color. Double check for other skulls. Looks to be about it. Alright, then while that's drying, before we apply our wash, I'm just going to do the eyes real quick. And for that, I'm going to use Baharoth Blue. A nice bright blue color. And then we're going to put some Aethermatic Blue over the top of that once this dries. But first, just the Baharoth Blue. Straight onto the eye lenses here. A little more down here in the... There we go. So we'll let those dry. And the other stuff should just about be dry. Oh, we can, while we're waiting, take some Gorthor Brown and do the handle of the weapon. His melee weapon, yet to be determined melee weapon, but nonetheless, the shaft of it will be Gorthor Brown. All right. There we go. All right. The eyes are probably dry enough now. We can do our Aethermatic Blue. And all we're going to do for that is just take a little dollop of it and put it in the whole eye socket there. So it looks like it's glowing, but we still have that bright blue spot in the middle from the Baharoth Blue. Alright. Now, we're going to grab not that. We're going to search our paints for... Oh, here it is. Fireslayer Flesh. And we're going to take this and we're going to shade everything that is not silver or black. So we're going to do the gold with this. Put it in there. It's going to make the gold quite a bit richer, but still maintain its goldenness. I do the bones in this color as well. What is this? Red spot right on the armor. Ridiculous. I'll fix that in a second. My brush must have bumped it while I was painting purity seals. Get this Fireslayer Flesh on everything. Again, that isn't silver. Oh yeah, true. GW pots are bad about splattering. It could have been that as well. That is true. Either way, I'll fix it up in a second. What else do we have? This whole arm still needs doing. I'm going to touch that sword up as well, so I'll just go over it with this color instead of trying to paint around it. Alright, this skull right here in the middle. And then anything on the back. Got that. Did not get this. I'm not doing the shaft of the handle either. Or shaft of the weapon. Alright. Now we'll take... God, I keep dropping paintbrushes on the floor. Not even the ones I'm using either. Now we're going to go back to our Grey Knight Steel. Salutations and well met, everyone. Sorry I'm late to the stream. Hey, you can show up whenever you want. So I'm just taking some of the Grey Knight Steel and I'm going to touch up these couple mistakes. I'm just going to blend this area into a highlight and then do this highlight on the same spot on the other side so it looks like it's on purpose. And I was going to fix somewhere else. Oh, the sword. Just darken that up. Or silver it up. I'm not sure if darken is the right word. But make it more silver. A little too much ink still on it. I'm just going to dab it off with my finger and then that's better. Alright, so now we're going to go back with all our original colors. Just got Lady Credo literally a minute ago. Do you think you'll get to painting her? I will admit that I do not know who that is, but I will Google. Credo? Necromunda model. I see. I think. Yeah. That's must be a Forge World model. Probably not, just because of the availability will be an issue, but you never know. One may come across my desk. I'm always open to the possibility that a commission will fly by and someone will want me to paint it. So if that happens, yes, but most likely not. I'm currently gearing up for all the new Age of Sigmar stuff, all the Stormcast and Cruel Boy stuff. I hope to paint a lot of that on stream and on the channel. So I'm going back to Rakarth Flesh now, which was our parchment color. And I'm just going to go through and highlight all the sections that we just put ink on. We still want to leave some of this ink showing, but get a good, nice parchment color back on things. No painting guide. That's interesting. I would think they would do one on the Warhammer community or Warhammer TV, but maybe not. I'm just being pretty messy with this. I'm not being super exact. I'm just getting this color back on these things without completely overpowering the Fireslayer Flesh we used earlier. Speaking of AOS, I'm suffering with an Astrolith Bearer fine cast. Croak needs an extra +2 to cast. Yeah, God. I've never built an Astrolith Bearer, but I think most of the universe will not sympathize with you struggling to put that together if your plan is to buff Croak with it. We may sympathize with you outside of the game, but once in-game, oh, that was hard to build, was it? That's terrible, man. Alright, now we're going to go back to our Ushabti bone. And just put a little bit of this on each skull. There's another one somewhere right here. And, oh, I didn't. Oh, no, I did. We're good. We're good. Alright, and then, oh, didn't close that all the way. And then I think the last color is going to be, I can't find, oh, because it's over here. Orec Armor Gold. This paint likes to separate, so I'm going to give it an extra shake. And then we're just going to take some of that and dab it along these gold sections here. Not too much, just a little bit. Just to brighten these spots up. Make them a little shinier. Might need a little more on the shoulder here. There we go. here on the shoulder pad. And then if you wanted to get crazy, you could add some text to the parchment and do all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to do that, though. But I am going to take some Ulthuan Grey, however you want to pronounce it, and just on the absolute sharpest edges of this guy, highlight the silver. So right along his visor here. And above his eyes. Too much paint on the brush. And then right on the shoulder pads up here. And why not right here on the gun barrels along here. And I think that will do it. I'm going to paint the base because, especially with this chrome paint, I should read chat. Really, I got it because it gives Croak, in other words, there's an extra 6 inches to cast in an eye. Both bonuses seem quite good, to be honest. I'm going to just use some Thondia brown, but it could be any brown. I'm just going to paint the base. With this chrome paint, it can be very hard to look at the miniature and see what needs to be done to it still when the base is still chromed out. Just for whatever reason, it just doesn't look right, and at least for me, I find it very hard to judge the miniature when the base is all chromed out. And I'm not going to do the base now because I do my Grey Knight bases like the surface of Titan, like the color that real life Titan is, kind of this off-white yellowy color. But the first step to that is a Grell Badlands. And that takes about an hour to dry, if not longer, and so I'm not going to do that on stream, but I am just going to paint it a brown color so that I can look at the miniature and we can see how it's shaping up without this bright chrome circle stopping us. So there we go. I think I just need a little bit more gold on the left shoulder pad here. Right up here. That's better. Right about there. Yeah, probably something to do with the light bouncing up. I'm sure you're correct. Out of curiosity, do you have a go-to way of painting light skin tones when it comes to human flesh? Depends how fast I'm going. If I'm going super fast, yes, Guilliman Flesh. Call it a day. If I'm going a little bit faster, or a little bit slower, rather, I will use... I may not have it here, but I will use Cadian Flesh Tone, highlight that with Kislev Flesh, and then highlight that with... Do I have it? Oh, right, I used it earlier. Highlight the Kislev with Rakarth Flesh. And then if I'm going even slower than that, I don't know, because that's as slow as I ever go. 99 times out of 100, I'm just going with this. On the special occasion, I'll do Cadian Flesh Tone, Kislev Flesh Tone, Rakarth Flesh. There's another color similar to Rakarth Flesh that's a little duller. I'll sometimes use that too, but I've forgotten what it is called. But yeah, that will do it for this guy. He's done to a tabletop standard, and that's all that I need, personally. I'll decide on his weapon eventually and paint that up and glue it on there. But yeah, that'll do it. I'll be back next week, I think. I won't be streaming on Monday nights anymore. I'm going to have to figure out another time to do it because I run a paint night at the local game store, and that's starting up again, and that's Monday nights. So I may stream during the day on Monday, or I might stream on Sunday night. We'll have to see. Regardless, I will definitely be back next Wednesday. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I think we're on. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Whether you watched live right now or are watching sometime in the future, and right now is irrelevant to you, I appreciate it either way, and I will see you next time.